What's up everyone, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech and these are the best features and important tips and tricks for your P20 Lite. Now the first best feature about this phone is definitely its display. This phone packs a 5.84-inch LTPS display with Full HD Plus resolution and has the notch. This is actually the first phone to come with a notch under 20,000 rupees in India. It is still in fact the only phone with a Full HD Plus resolution and a display notch in this price segment. Now besides the specs, display itself is actually pretty good, sunlight legibility is great, viewing angles and color reproduction are really good. Now the next best thing about this phone are definitely its cameras. On the rear it has a dual camera setup with a 16 megapixel primary camera with f2.2 aperture and a 2 megapixel secondary camera for depth sensing. On the front it has a 24 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture with 78-degree field of view. And it does take some pretty great shots like these. Next we have portrait mode for both the front and rear cameras. Now here are some sample shots. This phone has a dedicated feature called wide aperture mode where we can take portrait shots of objects. Now the normal portrait shot that I showed you earlier only works on humans, that is, your phone needs to see a face. So if you want to take portrait shots of any objects, then you can use this mode. In this mode, we can change the aperture before taking a picture, and even after taking a picture, we can change the focus point and the amount of blur effect we get. Next we have moving picture mode. Now once you enable this mode and take a picture, your phone will record few seconds as video and you can watch it by simply long pressing that picture. It just allows you to capture a nice memory along with the picture. Next we have face unlock. Just like all the phones these days, even this phone comes with face unlock feature, and according to Huawei, this phone can unlock your phone in 800 milliseconds just by looking at your face. It's definitely not the fastest face unlock feature I've seen, but it is fast and usable. Now the next best thing about this phone would definitely be its build. On the back it is a 2.5D curved glass with a glittery cover, and under the light it makes these amazing patterns and it just looks amazing. There isn't any other phone in this price segment which looks as stunning as this phone does. Now the next best feature on this phone is Pro video recording. Now usually on most phones we can find manual mode or the Pro mode to take pictures, but on this phone we have Pro video recording, which allows us to change the focus type, exposure, white balance, and it even has support for manual focus. So if you're someone who likes to record a lot of videos, then you'll definitely appreciate this feature. Next we have App Twin. Now this feature allows you to use two instances of the same application on the same phone. Let's say you have two WhatsApp numbers or two WhatsApp accounts and want to use them on the same phone. Using this feature, you can do it. Similarly, we can have two Facebook accounts, two WeChat accounts on the same phone. Next we have Hiss sound enhancement. Now this phone doesn't come with any dedicated DAC or an amplifier, but comes with a software based enhancement where you can change the type of headset you use for better audio experience. It even has equalizer settings to tweak the audio for your preference, and finally it even has 3D audio settings to tweak the audio further. Next we have a lot of fingerprint gestures. First one would be to take pictures using the fingerprint scanner. Now once you enable this toggle in the stock camera application, we can take pictures and even start recording video just by touching the fingerprint scanner. Now unlike other phones, we need to touch and hold the fingerprint scanner to take a picture or start the video recording. Next, we can even pull down the notification bar using the fingerprint scanner. Now once you enable this toggle, you can swipe down on the fingerprint scanner to pull down the notification bar. You can swipe it up again to send back the notification bar. Now this might not seem like a huge feature, but once you get addicted, you will really miss it on other phones. Next, we can even browse photos using the fingerprint scanner. Now once you enable this feature, you can swipe on the fingerprint scanner left or right to change the pictures in the default gallery application. Now this feature might come in handy if you have to use your phone single-handedly. Now finally, we can even answer calls and stop alarms using the fingerprint scanner. Just by enabling these two toggles, we can do that. Once again, this feature might come in handy in some special situation. Next we have 3-finger screenshot. Now before I show you how to use that, let me show you how to take a normal screenshot. So to take a screenshot on your phone, simply press the volume down button and power button both at the same time. And once you do that, your phone will take a screenshot. For some reason, if it is a little hard for you, this phone even has a notification toggle to take a screenshot. Simply go to the notification area, swipe down and click on the screenshot toggle to take a screenshot. Now finally, if you want something more easy, we have the 3-finger screenshot. Once you enable this feature, you can simply swipe down using 3 fingers to take a screenshot. Next we have long screenshot. So for some reason, if you want to take a long screenshot, first take a regular screenshot and click the screenshot option to take a long screenshot. Next we have flip to mute. Once you enable this feature by enabling these 2 toggles, you can simply flip your phone to mute an incoming call or alarms or timers. Here's a quick preview. Next we have pick up to reduce volume. Once you enable these 2 toggles, every time you get a call or an alarm, once you pick up your phone, volume automatically reduces to make your phone less annoying. I find this feature really useful. Next we have pick up to wake. Now just like the name suggests, once you enable this feature, you can simply pick up your phone to wake it up. Now this feature might come in really handy if you like the face unlock feature. You simply have to raise your phone to wake it up, it'll scan your face and unlock the phone. Next we have ultra power saving mode. Now once you enable this feature, all the applications running in the background will be killed and you will be given access to only 6 applications. 3 of these applications are fixed and you can choose other 3 applications. Now except for these 6 applications, you can't do anything else on your phone. Now this feature limits your usage but greatly improves your battery life. By the way, in this mode, we can still use Wi-Fi and mobile data and stay connected to the internet and use apps like WhatsApp or Instagram and still have a good battery life. Next we have low resolution mode or the smart resolution. Now just like the name suggests, we can change the resolution of the screen to improve the battery life. Now we can do it automatically by selecting smart resolution, or you can manually change the resolution to Full HD Plus or HD Plus to further improve the battery life. Now this is one of those rare features we see on these phones. Next we have battery optimization. Usually many people complain about low battery life without knowing what's draining the battery on their phone, especially with our parents or elderly people. Now using this feature with just a single click of a button, we can make some changes to improve the battery life. By the way, it disables auto sync, so if you don't want that to happen, enable sync manually. I know this isn't a great feature, but it comes inbuilt and it's great for a very basic user. Next we have one-handed mode. If you think this phone has a huge display or a tall display, and if you want to use your phone single-handedly, this phone has 2 features to help you out. First, it has the mini screen view. Just enable this toggle and swipe left or right on the navigation bar to shrink the screen size. Click the blank area to enlarge it again. We can literally do anything and everything in this mode. Making calls, taking pictures, checking email, everything. Next we have shifting keyboard. Once you enable this feature, lock screen pattern, phone dialer, and even the keyboard shifts to one side to make it easy for you to use them. Next we have a screen recorder built into the phone. I don't know who uses it, but for some reason if you want to record your screen on your phone, then we can do it in 2 ways. First, we can use the notification toggle, or you can press the volume up and power button both at the same time to start recording the video. To stop video recording, you can press the stop button on the left side of the status bar. Once you're done, you can find the recorded video in your gallery application. Next, we have some voice control features. First one is quick calling. Once you enable this feature, when the display is on, simply press and hold the volume down button until you hear an alert tone and say the name of a contact that you want to call. And then your phone will make a call to that person if it can recognize the contact name. Most of the time, it didn't work for me. Maybe it has got something to do with the accent. Anyway, next we have voice broadcast incoming calls. Now once you enable this feature, every time you get a call, your phone will broadcast the caller ID or the caller's name. It's a nice feature, but only works if you're using a headset. Next we have scheduled power on and power off. I don't know who needs this or why, but if you want to automatically turn off your phone and turn it on automatically at a specific time, we can do it on this phone. We can also set it up to happen automatically on regular intervals on any day of the week. Next we have Huawei Share. This is just like Apple's AirDrop, but just for Huawei phones. Now once you enable this Huawei Share toggle on 2 Huawei phones, we can share files, links and any kind of data between them easily on Wi-Fi, just like ShareIt. Next we have Navigation Dot. Now once you enable this feature, you'll see a floating bubble on the screen and you can use that bubble to navigate throughout the phone. You can simply touch it to go back, touch and hold to go home. You can touch and hold and then swipe for recent apps. You can simply swipe the bubble to move it around. Now this is once again a super handy feature to use your phone single-handedly. This phone comes with an application called Phone Manager pre-installed and it does a lot of things. For starters, we have something called networked apps where we can block internet access to all the applications. So we can manually select an application and block access to it over Wi-Fi and mobile data. For example, I just blocked internet access to Amazon. Next, we can also block calls and messages. We can list the contact details in this page. We can also choose to block all unknown numbers or all strangers that usually call over internet. We can also clear the RAM, do a virus scan, change permissions, and lot more. Next we have eye comfort mode. On other phones it's called as the reading mode or the night mode, but on this phone it's just called eye comfort mode. We can access it from the notification toggles or the display settings. Once you enable it, it puts a warm tint on the screen to protect your eyes at night. We can also enable it automatically based on your time and even change the intensity of the warm tint. Next we have an app lock built into the system. Now just like the name suggests, it's an app lock and we can lock applications using this feature. To unlock a locked application, we can either enter the password or use the fingerprint scanner, which is really handy. Now here's a quick preview. Next we have a file safe built into the system. Now just like the name suggests, it's a place where you can hide files or protect files safely. You can set it up with a different password from your lock screen password and even have backup passwords just in case if you forget the password. Now once you set everything up, you can easily hide any type of file on your phone, whether it's an image, video or anything else. Next we have private space. Now just like the name suggests, it's like a private space on your phone. So you have all the things that you have already set it up right now, which is called as the owner space, and you have something called as private space. So if you're some secret agent like a James Bond who wants separate set of apps and separate set of contacts, then you can use this private space feature. Now to make this feature more usable or more convenient to switch between different spaces, you can set a particular fingerprint for the owner space and a particular fingerprint for the private space. So you can directly switch between these two spaces just by using a different fingerprint. Now for some reason, if all that didn't make any sense, just ignore that feature. It's pretty heavy and this phone doesn't have a lot of performance. So if you use that feature, your phone will slow down. So ignore it altogether. Next we have GameSuit. If you have updated your phone, you can find an application called GameSuit on your home screen. And once you open it up, this is how it looks. There isn't anything super fancy going on with it. We can simply add your list of games to it. From here you can select different power profiles like power saving mode or the smart mode, and even select uninterrupted mode. Every time you open a game, your selected power profile will be enabled and you won't be disturbed with any annoying calls or ringtones while you are playing game. Next we have ride mode. Now once you enable this feature, you just get two options, either to use a phone dialer or to send an SOS signal. Basically, this application restricts you from using your phone while driving. From settings, you also get additional options for auto answer by text, and even ride tracking. It's a nice feature, but I wish they could automate it. Just like once you start a ride, it automatically turns on the ride mode, and once you finish the ride, tracking stops. Next, we have Wi-Fi Bridge. Unlike mobile hotspot, your phone will use the existing Wi-Fi connection and allow other devices to connect to your phone. Now, you might think you will never use this feature. Now let's say you're in a fancy hotel or an airport and you're given internet access only for one device. So in this situation, you can use this Wi-Fi bridge feature to share that single internet connection with other devices. Next we have dual Bluetooth. This phone also supports dual Bluetooth. Now just like the name suggests, we can connect to two different Bluetooth devices at the same time using this feature. Next there are some more AI based features which improve the battery life and performance, and there are a lot more stuff like themes, simple mode, SOS mode and many more. I've just mentioned all the important stuff. So guys, those were the best features. Now let's look at some important tips and tricks. Now this phone does come with a notch, and for some reason if you don't like it, you can disable it from the display settings. So just go to the display settings, select notch and select the second option, that's hide notch, to completely hide the notch. It is still visible, but it doesn't stick out on your face. Now I personally don't have any problem using the notch, so I'll just go with that. Next, this phone doesn't come with an app drawer right out of the box, but you can enable it from the settings. Personally, I would like to go with Nova Launcher as it offers a lot of customization, but if you want something native, then you can go to display settings, then select home screen style, then select the second option to get the app drawer. Now this is the app drawer, and as you have seen, it's not very fluid, at least on the first attempt, but it works. Anyway, I would suggest you to use the Nova Launcher instead. Now going on next, you might have already known about the split screen mode. Now this is how it works, but sadly it doesn't work with all the applications. Now if I try to open something like Instagram, we get an error saying app doesn't support split screen mode. So to use all the apps in the split screen mode, go to settings, scroll to the bottom, select system, select About. Now click on the build number 7 times. Once you do that, developer options will be enabled. Now go back, then select developer options, scroll all the way to the bottom and enable force activities to be resizable and restart the phone. Once you do that, you will be able to use all the applications in split screen mode. I think this is something you should definitely do on your phone. Now going on next, sometimes there are apps that do not open in the full screen mode. Maybe they are not optimized yet. You will see a black bar at the bottom. So to make such apps go full screen, click on this option, click OK to make it full screen. For some reason, if you're not able to see that option, maybe it's a landscape application. For that, you need to go to settings, then select the display settings, then select full screen display. From here, you can make any app go full screen. So these are all the apps that are already going full screen, but there are still some apps like HDFC Bank, Honor Community that won't open in the full screen mode. So for that, simply enable this toggle, and from the next time you open them, they will go full screen. Now, if you want to display the battery percentage and the network usage on the status bar, you need to go to App and Notification, then select Notification and Status bar. You need to enable this toggle to display the network speed on the status bar, and from here you can show the battery percentage beside the battery icon. Now you can see the battery percentage and the network speed on the status bar. Now from the same page, if you want to use the LED notification light that's over here, you need to enable this toggle. And if you don't want to use the LED notification light, disable this toggle. Next, I'll show you how to swap these buttons on the navigation bar. For that, go to Settings, select System Navigation, and from here you can change the order of these buttons. Now you can also add in a new button to pull down the notification bar, that's here. So from here you can change the order of these buttons and even add in a new button to pull down the notification bar. Now when I click this button, notification rod will be pulled down. Now this is really a handy feature. You always don't have to go all the way to the top to pull down the notification bar. By the way, we can also do the swipe down gesture on the fingerprint scanner to pull it down. I've already shown it in the best features section. Now finally, I'll show you how to change the default application on this phone. Let's say you want to change the default launcher or the default browser on this phone. For that, you need to go to Apps and Notification, then select Default Apps. From here, you can change the default launcher, default call dialer, default messaging app, default camera application, default gallery app, and so on. So if you have installed any other third-party launcher, say like Nova Launcher, you need to come over here and select Nova Launcher as the default launcher. Now for some quick tips, while you're watching videos on YouTube, you can do a pin gesture to go full screen. This is a random YouTube video, and if you want to go full screen, you can do a pin gesture and it works. I really don't know who this guy is. Now going on for the next step, starting from Android Oreo, we get the new picture-in-picture mode. Now let's say you're watching some video on Google Chrome. Now whenever you press the home button, that video will continue to play in a floating window. Now here's that. Now if you click on it once, it will slightly enlarge and you get the option to play or pause, even play the next video, and we can swipe it all the way down to close it. Now the same thing happens even with Google Maps. Now let's say you're using Google Maps for navigation, and when you press the home button, once again this application will shrink in a floating window and you get to see the map in this window. Now you can do whatever you want and still have a quick preview of the map. Once again you can swipe it down to close it. So guys, those were the best features and important tips and tricks for your Huawei P20 Lite. If I missed out on anything important, do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you are planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It really helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.